Hi, welcome back. Today I want to show you how to make gazpacho, which is a raw, cold vegetable soup from the south of Spain that's incredibly refreshing and packed with vegetable compounds, nutrients that we find in vegetables like tomatoes and cucumbers, peppers, onions, avocados, very nutrient-dense vegetables. So you need to have quite a high-powered blender. It even works in a slightly less powerful one, but you might have some chunks left. So we'll start by putting in the cucumber. This is just one big cucumber. And I leave the skin on because that's where a lot of the nutrients are. We need to add the tomato juice, and I'm not even going to bother telling you how much of everything because it's all going to be in the recipe that you can find on my website. Then I'm going to add a clove of garlic, finely minced garlic, some olive oil. Get the most fragrant olive oil you can. White balsamic vinegar, which is not as tart as some other vinegars. And we're going to blend this first batch because we need to make some room in the blender. Now that we've pre-blended the cucumbers, we'll add the roasted peppers. I buy them in a jar that they're just in a brine in water, and all I do is drain the water off. I don't actually rinse them or anything like that. Chopped red onion, wherever you can, get red onion, which has more nutrients than white. Some tomato paste, which is a very concentrated source of lycopene, a very healthy antioxidant. And we'll put in the avocados. The avocados are not a very traditionally Spanish touch. They usually add old bread, stale bread. But because I try to keep the amount of sort of unnutritious foods as low as possible, and bread really doesn't contain a lot of nutrients, I thought I'd rather thicken this with avocado, which is actually very nutritious. Now we're going to add some seasoning, pepper and salt. You can always season to taste when you've finished the dish. I'll start with a half a teaspoon, and sometimes I'll add a little more. Sometimes it's sour, it's salty enough. Then I'll just throw in these whole tomatoes and the rest of the tomato juice. If you've got a bit too much to do in one blender full, then just do it in several batches. And then usually when I'm done, I pour it into a big mason jar and keep it in the fridge to keep it really nice and cold. The colder it is, the more refreshing it is until I'm ready to eat. So the soup I just made is a fantastic source of healthy fats from olive oil and avocado, and healthy low glycemic carbohydrates that are full of fiber and nutrients and won't spike your blood sugar level. But what it lacks is protein. And so that's why I'm going to fry some shrimp very, very briefly in very hot olive oil with garlic and a pinch of chili, and then we'll serve that together. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a pretty hot pan, preheated. Actually, this is maybe a little too hot, but it's okay. And then we'll add 10 cloves of garlic that my son very kindly minced for me, and a pinch of pepper flakes, red pepper flakes. There we go, not too many. We don't want it to get too spicy. Cook these for about 20 seconds. You really don't want the garlic to start changing color because then it goes bitter. And then we add the peeled shrimp, a pound of peeled deveined shrimp. Oops, that one tried to get away. Oh, it's beginning to smell extremely Spanish here. So cook those on fairly medium to high heat till they start to turn pink. Turn them. Don't stir too much. We want them to be nicely pink on both sides. You can turn them one by one if you like to be really precise, but I usually don't bother. The reason I'm adding shrimp is, as I said earlier, to increase the protein content of the dish, because protein is really essential for human health. And a lot of us forget to eat protein. A lot of my clients tell me they eat all these lovely salads and soups, but then they forget to put in meat or eggs or fish or whatever it is that are good sources of protein. And protein is actually really satiating. So for anyone who's trying to lose weight or who's trying to conquer food cravings, it's absolutely vital to have at least 20 grams of protein at every meal. And this recipe provides actually exactly 20 grams. So it's not actually that much, but it's just enough to really make you feel full and satisfied. If you had this soup without the shrimp, it would be delicious, but it just wouldn't be very filling, and you'd probably be hungry again an hour later. Right, so we're nearly there. I'm just going to give it a squirt of lemon juice, which really wakes up the flavors. A little bit of salt, and about a quarter cup of minced parsley. Give it another quick stir. Those bits of garlic that are stuck at the bottom will come off when you remove this from the heat, and they'll actually have a lovely crunchy, crispy sort of texture. And then, so when you're ready to serve, all you need to do is get your gazpacho out of the fridge where it's been chilling nicely. Serve it into a soup bowl. Oops. And then top it with, I like to also put a few chopped vegetables, like the things that we put in the soup, just as a little sort of reminder of what's inside. So a bit of red pepper, a bit of tomato, some cubed avocado, and then a nice serving of these delicious garlicky shrimp. There we go, and we barely cook them, so they're really juicy. And there you go. There you go. That's gazpacho for you. Quick, easy, and packed with nutrients, and very refreshing. The perfect summer dish, and it'll keep in your fridge for several days, so you can enjoy this more than once. If you'd like the recipe for this gazpacho, please go to my website, recipesfordisaster.com. The link is below. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the red subscribe button.